morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever you are watching this. Welcome to Mentor Mornings, my friends, where I share wisdom from people far wiser than myself to help you own your day and fuel your journey. Because life is a journey, is it not? And we are on that journey right now, and it is a bumpy ride. By the way, guys, if you appreciate these videos, could you please slap that thumbs up button? Subscribe if you have not already for more great news on Mentor Mornings 6 days a week. And let's dive into this. So in a recent interview with Fox News, Newt Gingrich called out George Soros for funding radical district attorneys that have led to the chaos and the destruction that we are seeing on the streets of America today. And it is a wild time, guys, when Newt Gingrich is controversial on Fox News. Fox News just melted down. The broadcasters didn't know what to say when he came out and said this.
Pro-criminal and overwhelmingly elected with George Soros' money, and they're a major cause of the violence we're seeing because they keep putting the violent criminals back on the street.
I'm not sure we need to bring George Soros into this.
I was going to say you get the last word, Speaker.
He paid for it. I mean, why can't we discuss the fact that millions of dollars he spent?
I agree with Melissa. George Soros doesn't need to be a part of this conversation.
Okay. So it's verboten.
All right, we're good. Okay, we're going to move on.
It's well known and documented that George Soros has funded politically motivated acts. He was funded a lot of what happened with the Ferguson riots. He funds anti-Trump protests and rallies. His money goes to organizations that support and encourage destruction inside of the country. It's very plain to see that Soros is not out to improve America or the lives of Americans. Instead, he wants to see the destruction of the United States. And he said so himself inside of this quote. He says, "The main obstacle to a stable and just world order is the United States. Destroying America will be the culmination of my life's work." Is that the kind of man that we want pulling strings inside of our country? And why is it taboo to bring up where he is spending his money? You know, what happens when speaking truth and facts is no longer acceptable inside of the United States or anywhere inside of the world? What stops media outlets like Fox News or CNN or CBS from talking about where a very large, politically motivated, financially invested tycoon is spending his money? There are basically two different things that it could be, and either one of them lead to that these organizations are complicit with what he is wanting to do. So either they are fearful of bringing up his name for the repercussions that could happen, or they are in cahoots. George Orwell says that during times of universal deceit, telling the truth becomes a revolutionary act. And we have seen that over and over and over again with many, many people out there being deplatformed and moved away from social media, the social media giants, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all of these. And they're having to go to different channels in order to get information out there. We all know who they are. So if discussing truth is forbidden, how can we lay any trust inside of news organizations or media outlets such as CNN, Fox News, all these? And why are they still being put out in front of the American people? How do we stop these behemoths from destroying the minds of Americans? Or have we just accepted the fact that we are to be molded and governed? Our brains and minds and thoughts to be molded and governed, and what is acceptable as truth and what is not. George Orwell, in his book 1984, says, "Freedom is the freedom to say that 2 + 2 makes 4. If that is granted, all else follows." And today, my friends, I can tell you the numerical value of 2 + 2, but if you have any sort of a platform, you have to be very careful as to what you say because of deplatforming. So the misinformation campaigns of today, such as Operation Mockingbird and many others that I'm sure are in operation, are trying to guide and transform what Americans and others around the world are thinking about the current situations. That much is clear.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about troubling and irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
the sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
more alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first. Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Reality is only what we see and know. And the ugly truth of what's happening today and what has happened over the past probably 20 to 30 years in a progressive stepping and marching forward is that ignorance feeds lies and deceit. Lies and deceit encourage fear. Fear invites meekness. Meekness encourages evil. And evil invites ignorance. And round we go, my friends. Look, if you're watching this, you know, and I know, that this is the truth. The issue that's happening today is that there are still many that offer blind acceptance to organizations such as Fox News and CNN and CBS and these large media outlets, whether that's on cable, on TV, inside print. I think what we need to see today, the rise of true independent journalism inside of the world. And we're seeing it, and we're seeing them fight back. Guys, we are moving in a very positive direction, despite what the world looks like right now, despite the challenges and the frustrations, and I know that it's getting heavy today. I know that it's getting heavy today with the constant barrage of trauma that is happening inside of the United States and elsewhere inside the world. The truth is, though, my friends, is that the light has been turned on to the wicked and the evil and the corrupt. And when that light came on, we see the wickedness. We see it, and it is fighting back right now. And the beautiful thing about it, guys, is that when we enter into confrontation with those that are ugly or want our own destruction, when we enter into confrontation, that's when resolution happens. Resolution is around the corner, my friends. Stay strong, stay committed, stay persistent, and rise unconquered. If you appreciate this video, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you have not already, my friends, and I will see you tomorrow on Mentor Mornings. Until then, rise.